What's up, everybody? How are you doing on this beautiful day? Today we're going to take a little trip down memory lane again. I've written down some records that I have thankfully been keeping really good track of over the last year or so. What I'm going to talk about with you guys today and invite you into personal parts of my life and just kind of letting you know what my journey's been like, and what I've spent a lot of effort in working on over the past 12 months or so. And that is tapering off of Suboxone. So that's been a major part of my life for the last 12 months, and I've spent an incredible amount of energy. And unfortunately, I'm not one of those people that can just cold turkey this shit and just move on or move right on. I don't know many people that can do that. It's really a hard thing to just cold turkey off any opiate, in my experience. But if you have the willpower, certainly if you guys are wanting off of whatever opiate you're on, then try cold turkey. And the worst case scenario is you go through hell for a couple or a few days, and if you just can't do it, then you can't do it, and you start tapering. That's always the first recommended way that I say, because some people have amazing, incredible willpower. Some people don't have as bad of withdrawals. It's different for every person, every scenario. A lot of factors go into it. So that's just my advice. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, baby. But let's jump right into it. So we're going to start from the week of January 21st. And that week I took 80 milligrams of Suboxone total for the whole week. Now I keep track every day, and keep in mind that just about none of these weeks is just a perfectly steady run. It's, for example, the week of 80 milligrams, it was probably 16 milligrams one day. Then the next day I really wanted to push it, so I would do 4 or 6 milligrams, just whatever I could tolerate. And then depending on how I was feeling the next day, how much felt like I could push myself. So it was a very choppy road, especially at first, because you're not really sure at that point what type of withdrawal symptoms you're experiencing. And then as you progress through your journey, you get to know your body better. You get to know what actual withdrawal symptoms are for you. And on that week, that was, like I said, 80 milligrams for the whole week. That equates to 11.4 milligrams per day. So I like to average it out sometimes just to kind of see about how much I'm averaging for the whole week. So the next week of 129, I went all the way down to 54 milligrams. So as you can see, when you're in those upper milligrams, you can make huge jumps quick. And I'm from 80 to 54 milligrams. That's a massive jump for a week to go down. And you can do that when you're in the 6, 8, 12 plus, anywhere up in there. You can come down fast. Anybody can get down to 4 milligrams very fast. So moving on, the week of February 5th, I took 50 milligrams. So I went down just a little bit from 54 to 50. Week of 2/12, I went all the way down to 42 milligrams. So as you can see, about a 25% reduction. Moving on, so I stopped keeping track for just about a month at this time, because I had a lot of stress going on, and I was packing everything and trying to find a new house and relocating out of my previous state. And so I just stopped counting. But I would say, just thinking back on it, I would say I still maintained pretty close to about where I was at the week before, for that month. I tried to make sure I didn't start going up too high. Okay, so I started keeping track again on March 12th. For that week, it was 50 milligrams. As you can see, I just went up in dose. Okay, March 19th, I took 60 milligrams. So you can see I'm going the wrong way here. And at that point, I'm up to 8.5 milligrams a day. And that was just the week of March 19th. Okay, so I started working back at it again, because I decided hey, I've missed my goal for 2 weeks, and my goal is just to be better than the last week. It doesn't have to be by a ton, but I like to at least meet or beat, and then I would give myself a little reward of whatever I wanted it to be if I beat it for the week. So this way, it kind of helps you, like if you have a bad day or two, if you need to, take a break from your taper, if you're having family over for the weekend, if you have a birthday party, it's okay to take a little break from your taper and just go to where you know that you'll be okay and you're not in a deficit. I'm going to make a separate video about that soon. All right, so 326 I think is where I left off. The week of 326 I took 52 milligrams, so I'm heading in the right direction again. The week of April 2nd, 52 milligrams that week again. So for me, I was like, hey, I'm not going the wrong way this time. All right, I guess whatever, that's fine. So the week of April 9th, I went all the way down to 40 milligrams for that week, 5.71 average milligrams per day. So I'm making progress here, as you can see. Just a few months before that, I was up to 80 milligrams, and I cut that in half from 80 milligrams in 3 months. I went from 80 milligrams to 40 milligrams, and that's with me slacking, kind of going up and down like that. Okay, April 16th week, back up to 46 milligrams for the week. April 23rd week, I went back down to 40 milligrams. April 30th, I went all the way down to 30 milligrams. So I went from 40, I kind of stung around the 40 milligrams per week range and then jumped right down to 30 milligrams. And I was working my ass off to do that. Trust me, it's not easy to. You're fighting your brain this whole way down, so it's challenged, as all of you guys know. But it's a manageable challenge. It's definitely possible for anybody to do what I did here. Okay, so at the 30 milligrams for the week, that averages a 4.28 milligrams per day. So May 7th, I went all the way up to 47 milligrams. Crappy. I mean, I went way high. Okay, then week of May 14th, I took 39 milligrams. So working back down again. So the key to, if you're going to have a crappy week or whatever, the key is to not let the crappy weeks continue. If you get off a week, try to jump right back on and get back below the next week. 514 was 39 milligrams. 521 was 27 milligrams. So I jumped all the way down to 27 milligrams, which is 3.85 milligrams per day. This is May 21st. The week of May 28th, I jumped down to 22.5 milligrams. So 3.21 milligrams per day. So June 4th, we are now at 20 milligrams for that week, kicking ass. June 11th week, I went all the way up to 26 milligrams, but I'm still in the 20 range, okay? And this is giving your body time to, get used to this lower dose. So 6/18, I would jumped all the way down to 16 milligrams. So from 26 to 16 milligrams in one freaking week. That is kicking ass, baby. Okay, then the next week I went all the way back up to 26. Struggled. And going on to July 2nd, the week of July 2nd, I went to 19 milligrams, kicking ass. July 9th, I went down to 15.5 milligrams. So you can see just making slow, steady progress. July 16th, 13 milligrams, still going. July 23rd, 11 milligrams. July 30th, 10 milligrams. Okay, that was the lowest I got to. And then I started slipping. August 6th, 12.5 milligrams. Uh-oh, what the fuck's going on here? August 13th, 17 milligrams. August 20th, back down to 11.5 milligrams for the week. August 27th, 19 milligrams. September 6th, 20 milligrams. So as you can see, I went the wrong way here. I started messing up. And this goes back to why I always tell you guys, if you can't control it, and if you're doing what I did here, that means you need somebody to help you. Ask your girlfriend, your wife, husband, brother, nephew, uncle, mother, whoever you can. Hey, give me this amount. Give me a half of a pill a week. Give me a quarter of a pill a week. Whatever the dose is to keep you in track and to not let you slip and have bad days and go up. So at this point is when I tried to jump off at 3 milligrams because I went back up those last 2 weeks, all the way back up to 3 milligrams. And I jumped off, made it 53 hours, and it was hard for me. I couldn't jump, I couldn't stay off. The restless, my entire body cramped, as you guys know. When I tried going to sleep, I couldn't sleep at all. It was just Nightmare on Elm Street. I couldn't do it. So if you're ready for that battle, then go ahead and jump off at 3 milligrams and see if you can do it, because I couldn't do it. So I immediately cut the dose in half because I went 2-3 days without anything. So at this point, my body's like, shit, just give me something. Boom, jumped back on at half the dose, which was about 1 milligram. So for the week of 9/13, I took 9 milligrams. For the week of 9/20, I took 11 milligrams. Started going up a little bit. 9/27, I took 7 milligrams. That's exactly 1 milligram per day. Okay, so 10/4, I went down to 5 milligrams. You can tell I'm kicking ass here. It's not easy, but I'm putting in the work. All right, so the week of 10/11, I'm down to 4.7 milligrams for the whole week. That's 0.67 milligrams per day of average. So 10/18, I'm down to 3.40 milligrams. That's 0.48, less than half of 1 milligram per day. 10/25 the week, I'm down to 3.1 milligrams for the week. Okay, and the last week started 11/1, and I got down to 2.7 milligrams for the entire week. Motherfucker! That's 0.38 milligrams average for the entire week, and that is killing it. And I'm sorry to say, but I tried not taking my meds the next day, and there are still going to be withdrawals at this point. Okay, I had the restless legs. It woke me up at 5 a.m. and I could not fall back asleep because my restless legs were kicking in. I was extremely uncomfortable until I took my dose of 0.125. Do you guys know how small that is? Of one strip, it's a tiny, tiny quarter. If you had 1 milligram, that's a quarter of 1 milligram. Tiny. And that dose got me out of withdrawal. It made me feel like everything was okay. It got rid of that, oh God, what's wrong with my life feeling. And you guys know what that feeling is. So there is still work to be done in my taper if I'm still experiencing those side effects. Okay, so even though I'm down to 2.7 milligrams per week, I am still working my ass off, and you should too, because if we've tapered this long, this hard, we've put in this much work, we don't need to be paying freaking massive going through massive hell with a withdrawal, because we've worked our ass off to get down to 2.7 milligrams per week. And I just kind of did a quick equation here. So on the month that I first jumped off, for that whole month before, I took 67 milligrams for that whole month. That's when I tried jumping off at the 3 milligrams, approximately, and that was too much. So I came back on, and I added it up here for that next month. I took only 32 milligrams, so I cut the dose right in half, just as I said. There's the proof right there. Okay, and then I failed that jump after I tried to steady myself at 1 milligram. I stayed at 1 milligram for a month. Okay, and I was strong with that 1 milligram. I was doing good. Everything was great. My body was normalized. So I tried jumping off at 1 milligram. It was still too much. Okay, and so the last 4 weeks, I've taken 14 milligrams for an entire month. Again, cutting the dose in half. So this just goes to show you, I've really been working my ass off. Keeping a record of your daily dose. You guys do this shit so you can look back when you get discouraged, like I do all the time, because you want off this shit. Everybody wants off the stuff that is trying to get off. You want off it now if you're like me. And when I look back at stuff like this in my records, it really gives me a sense of gratification and I'm just super thankful to be as far, as I am. 2 milligrams per week when I took 80 milligrams per week in January. Holy shit, we're that close, And I know some of you are going to say just jump off. I'm sorry, I'm not ready yet, but I know that I'm getting close. So, as I've told you guys before, the latest I can do is December 31st of this year. Okay, so it's going to be sometime between now and then. I just need to get to where I'm not waking up with restless legs. I can't do that shit. I have all kinds of supplements to help me through that and try to make it better, but if they're not able to get rid of that, I can't do it. If I have to taper down to freaking, half of 1 milligram per week, I'll do it. I just don't want to do the restless leg crap. It's horrible to go through that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope this encouraged some of you guys to start keeping track, because I did try tapering about a year or two ago, and I got all the way down to, I think, 1 to 2 milligrams on average per day, and then I started slipping, started going up, started flip-flopping between painkillers and Suboxone, and that's a whole other video. You guys do not do that. If you're doing that, you are not ready to come off Suboxone. So stabilize on Suboxone. If you're flip-flopping between pain medication and Suboxone, you gotta cut that shit out. That's fucking dangerous as hell. You can really screw yourself up doing that. So I'll make another video on that one too. It's coming soon. So thank you guys. I hope you're having a great effing day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for sticking around.